This will be the first log of the farm, and so I'm going to try to set a little baseline here on our projects. I'm going to hit each project and kind of state where we are. Nothing really on details or philosophy, but it just sort of gets the log going so that we can use the log to kind of keep track of our progress and whatnot. And again, I'm only going to do the projects. I'm not going to do all the other stuff that we do around the farm to maintain it and just general activities. And start with mushrooms, and we're trying to grow edible mushrooms. So I built a cabinet that has a control panel that you can set the temperature and humidity. That's hooked up inside to a hair dryer that turns on to raise the temperature and to a humidifier to raise the humidity. And then we basically go ahead, as you can see here, and put in bags of our mushrooms for growing. Very simple. We're at the point right now where we're kind of working bugs out. We just started doing this. Next project is aquaculture, and in this area, we're working with hatcheries to raise larvae of freshwater prawns and oysters. In both cases, we need to establish something called biofilters, and these are just tanks that have a bunch of substrate in it where a lot of bacteria are growing on it. And you take all your old dirty water and you pass it through and it comes out clean. So we have a recirculating system. So we have to set up the tanks and the biofilters for both the prawns, as you see here, and for the oysters, which are these two big barrels. The next project is bamboo. We took quite a number of years actually to find some types of bamboo that would grow a certain height that was very drought resistant and that could handle freezing. And we went ahead and got them and planted them in the ground. And what we're doing is we want to use them to build a privacy fence basically all around the property. So we planted some in the ground, as you can see, and you can't propagate them by rooting them or anything like that. You actually have to dig up new ones. And so we go ahead and we dig them up. And when you dig them up, they're really fragile. So we have to basically soak them in water in barrels for about 2 months, and they'll throw new roots. And once they do that, you plant them out, and you'll soon see new bamboo shoots coming up around the one that you planted. The next project we have is our garden. It's really an experimental garden. We do some plant selection. I wouldn't say breeding. We're selecting basically sunflowers and sorghum plants that are open pollinators that have a lot of grain. They're small, et cetera, et cetera. But the other thing that we're testing is weed control with plastic, and also the plastic to help conserve the water. And we're adding to that this year, placing jars down next to the plants to deliver water directly to the subsoil. So we just got done here in February planting up the garden. So hopefully all of that will go well. One really big project on the farm is avocado. And what we're really working on here is that there's a huge problem we're having with root rot, which is, and we're treating it with chemicals and controlling the environment and stuff. And also with freezing. So we're actually selecting, trying to put a lot of trees out and then trying to select some that are a little more freeze tolerant. And all of this, it's slow going, but we're starting to make some progress. So here in February, we put a lot of them out in the ground, and we have some in pots, and we have grafting down. So once we can keep them from dying, then we'll just go ahead and graft whatever variety that we want on top of them. I think the last project we have here is honeybees. And honeybees here in South Texas are a bitch to work with. They are just very, very, very aggressive. And so here in February, we did a number of things, basically maintenance, and we also started an experiment. We have a rather interesting idea on how to multiply the hives to split them. Usually it requires you to go into the hive and all of this, which is almost impossible to do because they're so aggressive. So we're looking for a way that basically takes no effort, and you basically let a swarm of bees come in, they set up home, and then they just start creating new hives themselves. And so we should have, as you can see here, we have the experiment set up under the plastic. I won't go into all the details of how it works, but as you can see, the first part looks like we're starting to have success. It is attracting wild bees. They're starting to look at it as a future home. All right, the next thing that we did was we did some work on our two apiaries. The first apiary, which is the main apiary, it's up on a hill. It's as we get old, it's just too much trouble going up the hill, especially for Joe. So we decided to move everything down the hill and clean it all up and basically reposition things closer and more accessible. So we did that. Then we went ahead and went to the second apiary and got some cleanup work done there.
Okay, so anyways, this is our house. This is our apiary. And when a queen bee leaves with a bunch of bees to set up a new hive, we can catch them. If we put them back in this apiary, they'll just leave again, too close to home. So what we did is we moved all the way down here and we've put up a little mini apiary. And this is kind of a holding area where we leave them for a couple of months or a year until they settle in and we can move them back to the main hive. But as you see, it's all overgrown, trees, thorn bushes, and whatnot. So we're going to fix all that up today. I'm not sure I got your ta-da. You want to do it again? All right, so we've got about an 8-foot pad with a little walkway, and when the rains come and the grass gets waist high, this will all be totally manageable.
Well, I guess that's the end of the log here for February. Um, on a side note, spring is definitely in the air. We can see the trees, the fruit trees flowering like the avocado, the mulberry, and the peach. So looking for fun things coming up soon here. So until, what is it, March? That'll be it.